Hello and welcome to another Star Citizen podcast. I'm your host, BoredGamer. It's the 3rd of November. I'm here with Zinnia. Say hello, Zin.
Hello, Zin.
Zin, what have you been up to?
Not a lot. I had a pretty chill weekend.
Chill weekend is good. I tried to take some time off as well.
I say chill. I played a lot of finals, so, you know, however chill that is.
I played the other game that studio made, Arc Raiders, which I'm enjoying a lot, even though most of my life is dedicated to trying to find and extract fruit. With your partner just being much better at getting fruit than I can. All to upgrade my rooster. It's a very interesting loot extraction game and social experiment. Good laugh. Tell us if you're playing it in the comments below. Tell us if you're playing Arc Raiders or Finals or any other games at the moment. I'm sort of interested to know what people are playing and what they're enjoying. I'll do a November channel update tomorrow. I've been quite lazy over the weekend. Normally I do this like on the 1st of each month, but we'll announce all the winners to the October giveaway and give you a big update on what's going on throughout November. We'll talk about some of what's going out throughout November here as well, because I'll ask Zin some bits and bobs. Let's start with the Star Citizen 4.4 Evocati build that's going around. It's still not wider PTU or anything yet, but might be by the time you see this video. It's going to go to wider PTU this week, almost certainly. What did you think of that limited Evocati build, Zin, from what you've seen and what you've heard that's in it?
I haven't had a chance to try it yet. I literally just updated my thing, so...
Okay, yeah, so it's pretty buggy and unstable. I think I was saying this to you over the weekend. Some people have been saying, oh no, it's really, really, really good. For me, it's one of the more unstable Evocatis I've played. It adds Nyx, Delamar, Levski, Dacium Ring. I haven't seen any Vandal enemies yet. I'm not sure if they're actually there. It adds some jump points to both Stanton and Pyro to the Nyx system. So the Evocati build, get the stability there for the initial Nyx test. And as soon as it's less buggy and there's less problems, it will go to wider PTU. What do you think of the pretty limited release for 4.4 then? Because it hasn't got any planets. This is technically a new star system with a space station, multiple space stations, and a giant asteroid in an asteroid field with a cool new landing zone.
Well, we knew that was coming.
Yeah.
And I guess it could be beneficial for them because they can focus on bits at a time and essentially force people to do only certain things.
Yeah, approaching it piecemeal seems like a good idea for a new star system that they're going to be supporting and adding content to Nyx over the next year or so. Obviously, they'll be doing that to all the star systems as well, but there's going to be like a good focus on Nyx trying to get like the Genesis planet tech in there so they can have all the planets of Nyx and then updating the rest of the planets in the game with that same sort of tech. But you will have, and I haven't played this yet, if it is there, you will have the Welcome to Nyx sandbox activity / mission chain that's going to be there with you going to a space station and it being like sort of attacked by Vandal and you have to go there and assist them and then fight the new human faction. And there's a lot going on still. That there's going to be a lot of fun stuff to do in 4.4. The Evocati build at the moment, by all means, does not have all of the content that 4.4 is going to have. The only other like sort of main thing I saw was there are big updates to the PDCs, the point defense system stuff. So this is something that annoys me, Sin. I'm not sure if it annoys you. CIG referring to one system by multiple names. So this is in the patch notes, for example, they referred to something they've, I believe, always referred to as PDCs before, point defense cannons, which are point defense systems. They are the automatically firing turrets that typically will target anything that's fighting you or missiles and torpedoes. They refer to them as PDTs.
Huh.
Point defense turrets. They're basically all the same thing. It's one of my bugbears. Do you think they should have more consistent language or... I
mean, definitely, but it sounds like turrets is a more all-encompassing generic term.
Yeah, I suppose because you can change
cannon
a lot of the PDCs.
Is a specific type of weaponry.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe they're trying to change PDCs and PDSs to PDTs because they are a turret that can be changed to other turrets.
I think they should be PDSs, as you keep calling
system.
them. Yeah.
Yep. But maybe they'll say, well, they're all PDSs, but some are integrated PDSs and some are turrets. So, yeah, we'll see what CIG do. I mean, consistency would be great, or an explanation of when they use terminology they don't normally use. Because I was like, are PDTs the same as PDCs? The same as PDSs? As far as I'm aware, yes. So are you expecting this to go to wider PTU ASAP, or do you think they'll want to get this into a good state before going wide, and then even going live? Do you think they're going to really try and get this one ready for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, because they don't want to have problems when they have a big free fly and the biggest event of the year potentially?
That's a good point. When is the free fly?
So the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, where we're expecting a free fly to occur, should be probably the 20th of November is when I was expecting it to start.
Okay, so they've got a bit of time.
They've got a bit of time.
I mean, if it's still buggy, maybe they'll keep it in Ivocati for a bit longer. Maybe give it a week.
I think they're going to want to get it to at least first wave PT as quickly as possible, right? Because they get to triage a lot more bugs the more people that are looking in it.
True.
And I think that one of the reasons, and we'll talk about this actually in a minute, one of the reasons that 4.3.2 has quite so many issues is because of the monthly patch cadence. Sometimes they're going to be pushing stuff, and then the team that was working on something that needs fixing, but they didn't realize needed fixing, has moved on to a high priority issue, high priority thing for the next patch or for CitizenCon or for an event, and they can't fix an issue in a live build as easily. Actually, let's talk about that. So 4.3.2, the live build, currently has some issues still. I was hoping they'd all be fixed, or a good portion have been fixed, but there are still some major ones. Like, for me, it's mainly with missions progressing, things not spawning, missions being completable. I'd say that it's around 50%, just over 50% of missions are completable, but I have problems with a huge portion of the missions that I want to try and do, be it combat missions, be it SD facility missions, that sort of stuff. So do you think that's par for the course? And I know I'm going to keep on asking this potentially every other week. Do you think it's understandable that 4.3.2 still has issues if they're trying to push 4.3 through, and that maybe they'll fix some of those major issues with 4.4? And I can tell you that a lot of the fixes that I want in 4.3.2 are in 4.4. Do you think that's okay, or do you think, no, they need to get these live builds in order ASAP as a priority?
I think having some bugs is not expected and not acceptable, but...
Understandable?
Yeah.
Common.
But having only like 50% of missions being able to be completed is pretty poor.
So that is BoredGamer, I reckon, based on my personal experience of doing some missions that I want to do. But I suppose when I was like, why can't I do this mission? I didn't go, I'll do another mission. I went, oh, no, I'm going to try to do this one again. Also,
is it specific missions that are having the problems, or is it just this mission may or may not be completable?
So I was having problems getting combat NPCs to spawn, and similar missions, and doing bounty hunting type stuff, be it ship combat, be it FPS combat. Stuff didn't spawn often and didn't progress when completed. Well, what I would consider completed. So it might be specific mission groups. I haven't done enough testing to know.
Okay.
But maybe. Tell us in the comments below if you're having problems with very particular missions. You're like, yeah, all of the ASD facility ones were booked. I think I tried to do some of the faff around in ASD facilities, and I just wasn't getting missions there. We'll see what happens. We'll see what CIG say about that. I suppose some of the threads and stuff I've been following as well is, why is the focus on the next Ivocati build and 4.4 rather than bringing live up to playable standard? One of the major things here is that they don't have a dedicated bug fixing team. And the people that fix this stuff are moving on to new features. And by the time they work out what needs fixing and what team needs to fix it, because you might see something that's like a mission not progressing, but it might be the props team that need to fix it or something like that. And they need to work out what it is, then get the appropriate people to fix it. Do you think, Sin, that there should be a dedicated bug fixing team that is able to do stuff like this, or do you think that's not feasible?
I think they I mean, I don't know how their teams are set up or anything, and I'm not going to tell them what to do, but would it not be possible to have like a certain person or a couple of people on each team be like the person who would step out and try and focus on bugs if there are bugs, even if their team's moved on to a different thing, like the next item in their list?
Okay. Yeah. I like the idea of a triage hoverer who moves around the teams, tries to work out where there might be bugs to fix and that sort of stuff while playing and seeing. I suppose they do have integrated QA and stuff as part of teams. Maybe they need to expand that very slightly. I mean, adding more people into teams doesn't necessarily make a feature better or quicker or less buggy. I'd like to see stabler, better builds for live for sure.
More stable.
More stable indeed. As I've said before, I think that 4.3.2, it's the most buggy patch in recent memory for me, and maybe it'll be like that sort of stuff won't happen again. But it might happen again. They're pushing more towards 1.0. It's still significantly better than it was a year ago. It's just a shame that some of these bugs, and they're not, they didn't catch them and get them fixed in PTU or the early stages of the live build. Something else that's happening is in the third and I believe final phase of the Frontier Fighters finale is today. I believe it's today or tomorrow. It'll start real soon. You can play any of the other phases, and this event will end when 4.4 goes live. I'd say you've got around a couple of weeks. I don't want to say you've got at least an amount of time if CIG push the patch out real quick. There's some cool loot and stuff that you can get there if you want. As in I've both said though, we're sort of like these events, but they're not like enamoring. Like they're kind of cool. They're alright. They're sort of take them or leave them. I'd rather do ASD facility stuff or a sandbox activity than a lot of these mission-based limited time events. I suspect there'll be some really interesting ones in the future. And I've liked stuff that is like the supply or die stuff. At least that's a bit more unique. And that said, chasing the Polaris around's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, tell us what you think in the comments below. Obviously, I can only tell you my opinion on some of this stuff, and you might be like, no, I absolutely love this, and it gives me reasons to play. And if you're doing monthly patches, you need this. And yeah, I do think you need that, especially when 1.0 comes out. Give us as much additional monthly content as you can, as long as it doesn't take away from other stuff. Is that your sort of thoughts on it as well, Zin? More rather than less, but don't take away from the cool repeatable stuff?
Yeah. So this is obviously their opening into Nyx.
Yes, this may well pull us into Nyx.
So that's kind of why they're doing it. Maybe they could have focused more on pre-existing stuff rather than shoehorning in new stuff that is basically the old stuff anyway.
Yeah,
but it, like I say, it technically has a purpose.
Yes, and I don't think it takes much away from the development of other bits and bobs, right? Like it's pretty simple what they've done. Mm-hmm. They have just reused a load of missions and given you reasons to play and extra loot and stuff. And yeah, if you're doing monthly sort of events and things like that with their monthly patch cadence, then you don't have enough time to do these massive limited events, nor should you. Maybe I'm just being spoilt. Engineering's in.
Yes.
It was on the tech preview.
Yeah.
I don't suppose you saw any of the pictures, the links, because it was an Evocati build. We can talk about it, but we can't really show off anything from it. You didn't have a chance to play it, did you?
No, I did not.
This is on the tech preview. It's not currently available anymore. It was it went up for a few hours. There was a little leak about it, but I think they've quite rightly removed some of the leaks that I saw on Reddit, because people should not be leaking this stuff. It is a privilege, especially when CIG is saying, please don't share screenshots and stuff. Try to respect that as best you can. Like, I will cover leaks and rumors and stuff to a degree once it's more public knowledge, but I do not want to incentivize people to leak. You can lose your job, you can get in legal trouble. If you're an NDA'd user that is doing stuff against NDA, those non-disclosure agreements, they can be used to get money out of you in court. Like, you've got to pay damages, potentially. I'm not sure if CIG have enforced anything like that, but I don't want to test them. But what are your thoughts on sort of leaks and that sort of stuff, Sin? You're like, they happen. It's all good. Information should be free and available to all of us as much as possible. The fact that they're not showing us everything in what's supposed to be an open development is the sin. Or you're like, don't leak. It's a privilege.
I think open information is good. However, when you're NDA'd, you're NDA'd.
Yeah, indeed.
If you don't want to follow the NDA, don't sign up. Don't agree to do it.
Yeah, so obviously I'm very in two minds and hypocritical, juxtaposed by the whole situation, just because I do want as much information as possible, and I want to cover it because my channel is just about covering Star Citizen news pretty much, but I do not want to encourage that behaviour, and obviously I respect the NDAs as much as I can, and the spirit of them where possible. Fortunately, CIG have softened their NDA on Evocati, so you can tell but not show. And I think that's the best way for it. What I will say about it is that engineering build, pretty cool. So they had vastly improved UIs and engineering screens. So with these, you can see the circuitry of the ship. You can open and close doors. Shows like all the doors and components and temperatures and damage to components. Temperatures are important as well, because if heat gets too high in a component, that component just shuts down until it's cool. You can cool down a component by, if there's a fire nearby, putting out the fire, but just using a fire extinguisher on a hot component will cool it down as well. They're coolant sort of dispensers as well as fire extinguishers. You can see MFD diagnostic screens as well, so you don't have to go to an engineering screen to do all your engineering gameplay. You sort of have limited function from the pilot. It does bring in damage control, repairing of components. So this is an interesting one I wasn't able to test or put into context properly. Fuses breaking don't make you lose power to that section anymore.
Yes.
It's supposed to lower power throughput, but I can't put that into any form of context. I don't know how to describe that to other people, how that actually affects your experience. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean. What do you mean?
So you've got fuses still.
Yeah.
And a fuse next to a component would break. And that previously would cut all power to that section until you repaired or replaced the fuse.
Yeah.
Now, breaking fuses doesn't cause you to lose all power in a section. It lowers power throughput. Is that just you get less power in those areas, so there's less power for items to use, or you have to make more decisions on what components are powered because you only have 10 gigajoules of power going through rather than 20?
Both of those things, I would say.
Okay, I've not tested that. If someone has and can explain to me what's going on with that, please do it in the comments below. That would be amazing.
To me anyway, it sounds like if you have less power throughput than you have, say you have a couple of components beyond that fuse, you can either have them all running at 30% of what they're capable of, or one running at possible like 80% or something like that, you know?
Yeah, okay, that sort of makes sense. I suppose what the new thing to me there is that there is a throughput of power. This connector can only take this much power unless there's a fuse there.
Technically, it's not a fuse, but
that's a good point as well.
It's not how fuses work.
Yeah.
DC would know. He'd tell you exactly what it would be like based on.
So yes, tell us if you've been playing around with the engineering build. Obviously, it's not currently available, but we don't know when it's coming back. I would expect it to come back again this month, maybe a couple of times, and CIG to test bits and then fix it and put it back in. But it's possible they keep it offline for a couple of months or something. It's possible that it will actually move really quick into a live build. If they go, oh yeah, we've fix the stuff we need. What's your feelings on this currently for when it will be in our hands again next and when it could be live?
I don't think we're going to be getting it this year, like for live anyway.
I think that's probably pretty reasonable and conservative. I don't really know. I can't tell CIG's intentions with this.
They're not telling us either.
No.
I'd like to see it in like testing again this month, maybe.
Yeah, I'd expect that, right? Because then it's fresh in the heads of people that were testing it. They can get some of this stuff fixed and tweaked and improved. There's some cool stuff you can do. So you can like open and close and lock and unlock all your doors from the engineering consoles. So there were some weird things like you were supposed to be able to, the life support systems do work, but players breathing oxygen doesn't diminish the amount of oxygen yet because it's sort of bugged. There's some things like that they need to get sorted. But general damage control and fires and cooling and the updates to the engineering UIs, absolutely fantastic. I suspect they want them to look even better. Hopefully we'll be able to show them off to you soon, because as soon as it goes to wider PT, we'll get some deeper infos on that. Then you'll have true multi-crew for ships, which is super important. Oddly, it was, I suppose it's because they haven't got all the ships ready for it. It was a big portion of ships, but not all ships are ready for it. Things like the Idris weren't ready, but the Polaris were. I'm surprised the Idris wasn't ready for it, because that's a core Squadron 42 ship, and they've recently put it in our hands in May. I would have expected it to be ready for engineering, that's all. Yeah,
I guess it depends on what the blocker is on that. Like, why is it not ready?
So my guess would be that it's the circuitry and relays that we were talking about, that they've changed. They've gone, it's throughputs rather than fuses losing power to sections. Also suggests to me that you don't need engineering in Squadron 42.
Maybe, or engineering is, I'd say maybe engineering's different, like streamlined, stripped back, sort of basic.
Baked in and scripted, maybe, which is very possible. Squadron 42, a lot easier to do certain components and certain features in game because you can go, well, we can script this, we can bake this in, we can make a very specific scenario that this is going to work in and test that to death. One last thing I wanted to talk about, Sim.
Yes.
Was the, I'll do a proper video on this. There was Declan Holmes talking about crafting and base building in that we're going to be getting at some point. Potentially some of this will be tested, at least the crafting bits, later this year in Tech Preview. And basically they said, yeah, if you at some point you'll be able to use nearby and stored materials for crafting. It will just sort of detect that they're there, which is great to hear. If it's in storage, you don't have to faff around with it too much. Cosmetics, so this is the main thing I want to talk about. Cosmetics, the skins you have on your armor, the skins you have in your ships, that sort of stuff, they're going to make those blueprints where sensible. So they'll be locked and tied to you, and you can apply them to your ships even if you lose them. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That just makes sense, right? To have cosmetics as blueprints so that you can go, I want to reapply this. Maybe there is a cost to applying them, so that you don't want to lose them. And there's a reason for you to sell the built cosmetic version of something. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's pretty sensible. And then he also talked about land claims and base raiding and how that work. And he sort of said bases are in a given region, so Europe or whatever, they are consistent across every shard, a base that someone's built. So people can't own the same plot of land effectively within Europe. If it's one person owns it, it's theirs. And only one shard can be raided of that instance of that base. So if a base is being attacked and you want to also attack it, you can't attack it on a different shard, but it will prompt you to move to the shard that's being attacked. And that will be the owner's shard if they're online. Do you like that sort of idea? Does that make sense to you so that it can't be exploited or weird stuff can't happen?
Yeah.
And I suppose you're only going to have to worry about bases being raided in Nyx and Pyro, assumedly.
Yeah. If you don't have the proper
shielding.
Yeah.
So, there's going to be fights over getting this shielding every month, and players and orgs that don't get the shielding will have their bases unprotected so they can be raided. I say unprotected, they won't be invulnerable, so you'll have to protect them yourselves or with turrets or with whatever else. I'm really looking forward to that. It's be interesting to see, and obviously a lot of people are going to be building their bases in safer locations, like in Stanton or whatever, where you should have permanent base protection as long as you pay your tax. But you might not be able to get as good return on minables or resources or exploiting stuff in those areas. I know you're not a massive PvPer, but do you like the idea of sort of base raiding and that sort of level of PvP driving the economy? I
don't think it would drive the economy. It'll have a small effect on it, but I can't see it making that big of a difference.
Okay, well, so for me, I think that a lot of the end game stuff like base building, base raiding, station building, all sort of is linked to me, and that's where a lot of the money goes. But I suppose we don't know, right? We don't know how the economy is going to play out. And that's interesting you say that, because I'd always assumed that was going to be one of the major driving factors of the economy, loss and building of bases. But maybe it won't be, and I don't know. And there's one of the joys and worries about Star Citizen is that no one's end game and no one's feature looks the same in each other's heads when we don't have it in our hands yet. We've all got dreams and expectations of how any given feature will work, and we don't know. Zin, we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. So Zin and I are going to be playing some ASD facility stuff, but I might hold back on doing a full playthrough of it properly until 4.4 comes out now. I know that sounds crazy, but I was having problems with the ASD facility stuff, and 4.3.2 has not been the kindest patch to me. And I'm hoping 4.4, obviously there's going to be a load of cool stuff to do in Nyx, but I suspect once we've got some of that done, we'll be able to go back to the ASD facilities and play them as they're intended. And for me, that's the big joy of Star Citizen, being able to play something as intended. Which is why I'm really looking forward to the Siege of Orison when it comes back as an instance in 2026. See, I know you'll be excited for a load of the instance gameplay, because we can play, hopefully, in a lot less buggy version of these big instances like Xenothreat, like Siege of Orison, like the Depths, and all these cool sounding things in the way they're meant to be played. And yeah, super excited for that sort of stuff. Tell us what you're excited about in the comments below. Zin!
Yes.
What should people get from the internet to help protect them and give them better accessibility, security, and privacy?
I think they should get NordVPN.
Where could they get it from?
NordVPN.com/BoredGamer.
All the links below, maybe?
All the links below in the description, not in the comments.
Well, it'll be in the comments as well.
Okay.
I'll do a pinned comment with it in there as well.
How kind of you.
I am very kind. Zin.
Yes.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Every month we have a Star Citizenship giveaway. For November, we are giving away the latest in pristine technology, the Grey's Market Shiv, a heavy fighter with a bucket of weaponry, and the first compound ship in game. It is made up of a cutlass and a load of other ships stuck together. It comes with lifetime insurance and a game package, all you need to play Star Citizen. But we're also bundling in a CitizenCon digital goodies pack, just loads of FPS items and stuff that you can put around your hangar and your base eventually. Just comment on any of our videos during the month to be in for a chance of winning that. Also, a big thank you to CIG for providing that prize. If you would like to further support the channel by clicking the join button under our videos and becoming a channel member or becoming a Patreon, then please do. It helps out a ton and enables us to make daily Star Citizen content, even when the YouTube algorithm or revenues are unkind. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click any of the affiliate links under our videos. That helps too. It gives us a little kickback. Share with us your feedback and what you'd like to see. We'll see you in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video.